All right. Hopefully the sound is okay. The other one that I initially put up was not working no matter what I did. So I had to do another one. So basically, hopefully people get the notification for this one. I don't know. But as I said in my last video, I had mentioned about basically justice and, what's right, what's wrong, taking the perspective from different viewpoints. I mention this because there's so many things that have ended up bringing us as humans to the point that we are now in. What I do want to encourage people to do, as I keep saying, is to love themselves, do the healing, whatever is necessary. So I'm going to wait probably, I guess, 5 minutes to see if people get in, because I'm sure they're at the other one because they don't realize. Hi, John. But yeah, if you didn't know, the other one would not work for whatever reason. I don't know if it was because of the time difference. I'm in Central Time, and normally it works out fine. But I don't know if they're going toward Eastern Time or Pacific Time. I don't even know, but I gave up on it and I just opened up a whole new video and a whole new live stream. So, yeah. So what I would like, if any of you have questions, please, feel free to put them in the chat for me. Hi, Ruby. How are you? I could actually type in here too, but it might make the computer screen jump a little bit. Hi, Trish. Can everyone hear me okay? I know sometimes with the laptop, the sound can be a little weird. So yeah, I basically want to say first and foremost for, again, it's me. I always say love yourself because thank you. I appreciate it. The sound is good. Great. So, hey, Missy. Hi. Hi. Maybe this time, I don't know if you want me to use your real name, but I'll just say Miss R. But hi. Any questions? Put them in the chat, please, because I didn't really sit here and make like any type of what do you call it? Oh, okay, 7:33 New Zealand, 7:33 in the morning on Monday. Okay, so you're in tomorrow already. That's interesting. That's kind of like how when I went to Thailand, like we were a day ahead, and so I always had to keep that in mind. But thank you for being here, Miss Trish, because I know it is early. Hello, BPC. I'm going to drink some seltzer water. It's mango flavored. I don't know about where you guys are. I know New Zealand, it's actually winter there, but it has been so hot here. It's not even funny. Like 96, 97, 70 to 80% humidity. It's really not. I love outside, but at this point, like it's literally like when you bake something and you open the oven, that's what it's like opening the front door or the back door to go outside. So even inside, it's almost like you can feel the heat through the windows and everything. All right. So tell me, what do you guys want to know? Because, like I said, I didn't plan what to talk about exactly. And I'm not the biggest, like, just chatter. Marcus is. Marcus can talk for a while. He just has that, but I'm somewhat quiet. So, yeah. What else? Let me see. Yeah, I really have nothing off the cuff to say necessarily. So, yeah. Let's see. Sorry, I have to change some settings here. All right. So I guess I could talk a little about me. I'm doing this live stream. That's what I should say actually is I'm doing this live stream because for the month of July, which is tomorrow for us, I will be somewhat quiet. There's some things that I have to do energetically as well as just in my life, and I need a month just to really focus, readjust myself, different type of things. So you won't see me for the month of July. Hi, Bernie. Because I have some things that I need to do. Because I've kind of been doing a lot of things, going, just figuring things out. And I finally am in a place where I can just like calmly be. That's the best way to say it. So, source. Yeah, let's talk about source. So, source is an energy, it is a frequency of vibration, but it manifests itself in various ways. Now, I refer to source as mother because of my perspective right here, right now. When you think about source, and many people want to say God, but I don't refer to source as God because that would almost be, I don't want to say insulting, but it is not the proper term because, as I've said, there are many gods and people don't realize this. So when I speak of source, I'm speaking about the original when there was nothing else, no other energies. That is the source, the one that has given bits and pieces of her energy to create. So many think of God as this deity that dominates the Bible. Now, that is not source. Many actually are worshiping this Yahweh energy, or the common name now is Jehovah. And that actually is the one who rebelled and made all types of accusations towards source, as well as those who supported that love energy. I don't talk. Oh, okay. So I'll get to that next, BPC. So that is this love energy. Hi, Cassandra. So this love energy is what brought everything into creation. And many people are confused because they're like, well, this that we see now in this world isn't a result of love. And you're right, because what you see now is parts of love, as you can see in creation, but the ones who took over this planet. Now, it's for a greater reason because many also feel, well, how could you let this happen, et cetera, et cetera. The ones who took over this planet, because see, there's a lot, and it's hard for me all at once to say things when there's so much going on. But if any of you have read the Hermetic text, for instance, it tells you what's going on, where there was a point where divinity lived in this world and helped manage this world, but that divinity left. And the ones who are behind are really the energies that do not have humanity's or mankind's best interests at heart. They have their own interests at heart. And there would be a time where people are basically living in darkness. They don't know the truth. They don't know their past, the beginnings, nothing. It'll just be a state of confusion where these, I'll say, malevolent energies or bad energies, low vibrational energies will take over everything and make ones forget the past, who they are, and really manipulate humanity to the point where not only do they destroy the planet, but they inadvertently are taught to destroy themselves as well. So that's the situation. But there's many here right now to expose this, to tell the truth, get ones to realize who they really are, and how they've been misled. So that once again, what people call love, the 5D, this kingdom of source, will be brought down to this planet. Okay? So, this law of attraction, if you understand energy, everything is a frequency and a vibration. Everything that you see, the reason that you can even perceive it as different items and things is because of the vibration and the frequency. So, this law of attraction, many people feel that if, and it is a real thing, it's kind of how energy sent out returns to you. It is the golden rule as well, what some people would call karma. Sorry, he's doing some weird stuff back there. Hey, okay. So, what they call karma. So, it's basically what you're putting out is what comes back to you. So, you treat others the way you would want to be treated. That is also the law. And it's different. There's been different ways to explain it, but at its essence, it's the same thing. Now, the thing with the law of attraction is many people feel that if they put out a certain energy, that they should get that in return. And most of the time, that is the situation. But the thing with the law of attraction, why some people find that it's not working for me, okay, I will address that. So you have to energetically be what you want to attract. Now, I'm going to use a very basic example, something that many of you would be able to relate to. I'm going to use the example of, let's say, relationships. Many people, especially obviously those who are single and maybe looking for a partner, they want a partner. And so they're like putting that energy out into the universe. Hi, hearing by hearing. So they're putting that energy out into the universe that they want a mate. Now, a person has an idea of what they want in a mate. However, here is why many people who are trying to manifest this law of attraction does not work. This is one of the reasons. I'll get into the other main one after. The main reason is you are not what you are trying to attract. So you are not that person, that being that you are trying to attract. Now, you can attract ones, but it will not be exactly what you want because you are not that yourself. Is this making sense? So let's say you're a woman and you want this partner that is confident and attractive and abundant. Are you that? If you're not that confident, abundant, attractive individual, and when I say attractive, it has nothing to do with the outer appearance, because when you're confident, that will naturally make you attractive. Okay. So if you are not that, how do you expect to attract something that you are not? Once again, that's that energy, what you're putting out. You will attract, and you won't like it, because this will make you have to self-reflect. What you will attract is ones who will mirror the very same energy as you. So if subconsciously you think you are not attractive, you're not good enough, you are going to attract individuals who are the same. And when I say that, at their core essence, that is what they are. They may appear to be something different when they first approach you. They might seem to be confident and attractive and all this, but when you really get to know them, you're like, that's not exactly what I thought they were at first, because that is your energy essentially. Now, if you are, there is a caveat to this, because if you are a being who does always put out that energy, and most beings or other energies cannot match your energy, you will attract energies that want to have your energy as well, which, okay, I'll put it out there. That's why a lot of people who truly have good energy, or these light workers, they are, you know, how do I say, like, they're here basically to elevate the energy on this planet. You will be attracting certain energies that want to be that. So they're actually like, yes, Trish, you said opposites attract. That is one of those situations where this person is the complete opposite of you, but they will be attracted to you because they want to be what you are, or what they feel you are. And you being this being who's compassionate, empathetic, constantly want to help an individual who may be in that energy, because that is what you're here for, to elevate ones, to help them see the light within themselves. So it can be kind of a difficult relationship, but that is also a reality. Now, as far as abundance, this is another thing. For me, abundance doesn't, it's not the definition of what this world or matrix has made it seem. Abundance to many people correlates with wealth. And for me, that's not it, not monetary wealth, because that can come or go at any time. But true abundance is having everything that you need, as well as want, as well as your health, and people who are in your company that are real, that love you unconditionally. Now, that is true abundance. Not this monetary view of abundance where you have to have a huge house, luxury cars, designer clothes, etc., etc. That's not it. So when you already feel that you are abundant, you will attract more of that in your life. So that could be material wealth, but it can also be health, wellness, people who are on the same frequency with you. You will attract that. And these ones that aren't will fall to the wayside, which is also why so many of you, when you have raised your vibration, there are many people who are no longer in your life. And it can hurt at first, but this is for your own good. And you may not realize it, but what you're doing is actually repelling the energy that you no longer are attracted to, and bringing in or attracting energies, the ones that you now are, with your heightened sense of awareness. So that's what I want to say about basically the law of attraction. The other thing is you cannot, especially now in this world where so many don't have things, so many homeless people, where even abundance, wealth, material assets are not equally distributed in this planet. It's very difficult for you as an individual who has food to eat every day, a roof over your head to keep you dry, warm, whatever. You have people that love you. If you have all these things and you still want more when there's so many others who don't have it, by you wanting to attract more wealth when you actually don't need it, in that case, you're wanting something that would take away from the health and well-being of someone else. And in that way, when you're trying to manifest something, but it could actually do harm to someone else or leave them without, that manifestation is not going to come to you. And that's why it's really important to really self-assess to see what is actually needed versus what is wanted. What is your true desires versus what this world, this society has put upon you and really taken over to put desires that are not even your own within you. What is truly necessary for you to be happy? That's what you really have to think about. When beings were first put on this planet, they didn't need much. They didn't. Not to be happy, not to be abundant. That was something that was interjected later on to always make people feel like they need more. They can never be satisfied. Always running on that wheel to acquire things. Let me check the chat. Hi, sixes. Hearing by him. That's why I don't need diamonds. Right. I mean, there's so much treasure just in the world around us, but it's being exploited, taken advantage of, taken by powers, and then sold as if they owned it to begin with, as if they created it when they didn't. These gifts were given by source. Now, whether you want to acknowledge a higher power or not, that's up to you. If you want to think all this came about by chance, that's up to you. But for energies to believe that they have all of these things and that they own them and then that they're going to decide who gets what is just not right. It's one of those things where when you're no longer selfish, you understand that you are you're like a spark of source. Now, this isn't something I'm coming up with. There's many ancient writings as well that bring this out. It's in Buddhism, it's in Hinduism, many teachings that once you realize who you are, you have that connection to source. And once you have that, you realize that you are part of everything and everything is within you. And with that knowledge comes respect for everyone and everything that you interact with. You appreciate things. You don't try and exploit or take more than what you need as well. So, okay, good night, BPC 1053. So, this whole idea, which has dominated this world, that everyone is separate and different, is what enables it to exist in this low vibrational energy that it does. But this separateness is the only thing that keeps these energies in power and ruling things. Because when you no longer see yourself as separate from everyone else, there's love. There's no barriers. There's no boundaries. Okay? Now, as I mentioned in other videos, it's not that everyone has this mentality and not everyone wants this. There are certain ones that are not happy with considering themselves to be part of everything and everyone else because they want to be above everything and above everyone else. competing for who is more popular, more wealthy, more powerful, more everything. And this has always been an issue since the rebellion, where ones were not happy with who they were or what their role even is. But this is cliche, but just like the example of the body. Even though, let's say, my hand has a different role from my foot, or my ears have a different role from my stomach, they all have a separate role, but they work together for the whole body to benefit. This is with the universe. Everyone has a different role, but you work together for a common goal or benefit. Now, and this happens, once you have certain parts of your body that don't want to cooperate with the rest, it causes disharmony, disunity. It makes the body not function properly. So there are problems. And sometimes you have to overcompensate because there is a part of your body that is not functioning properly. Now, this is kind of what the universe is like right now, especially on planet Earth. Like, it's like you have this beautiful symphony, and then you have this one part that is working out of harmony with the rest. But you want it to play with the rest, so you just don't want to, sever it, because then it would affect everything else. All right? So that's what I wanted to bring out. It's one of those things where even you, as my viewers, Yeshua had also talked about this, even though I don't love the Bible and certain things, because I know it was heavily manipulated for the powers to stay in power and maintain control. But Yeshua was legit. It's just a lot of his teachings were twisted, but a lot of those teachings came from himself in other lifetimes. So this was also an issue with him, where he's seen certain individuals, especially when they felt they were close to him. They wanted to be assured that they were loved more, or that they would have a better position in, whatever purpose they were serving. So this isn't something that's foreign or not. This is really why we're in this situation as well, is because ones don't want to be in a certain role that they're in. They want to feel more important. Now, as I mentioned, Source does not, this isn't the consciousness of Source, because Source feels everything is a part of it. Sorry, it's funny, hearing by hearing. I do like your avatar, though. I like my avatar as well. Thank you. And yes, that is one of those things when you do awaken, you realize that this body of yours is just an avatar to allow you to interact on this dimension. Some of us are more aware than others. For me, and I'll be honest, it's difficult at times because, and I mentioned this, for people to know a lot about reality of everything and what happens, it is kind of a liability and a burden, because you have to take in all the knowledge, and basically some call it your Akashic record. Okay. So for me, because I've been doing this, it's hard to explain. I have a lot in my Akashic records, but I also clearly know energies for what they are and who they are and what they said and what they didn't say. And even if they try and cloak themselves in a different energy, I still see the energy for exactly what it is. So that's why I'm out here speaking. That's why Yeshua spoke out against certain ones, including Jehovah or Yahweh at the time. He did not represent that God. But he understood the oneness, but at the same time, because you feel one with everything and that connection, you can't allow that unconditional love to veer you from what your assignment is in the dimension that you're put into at certain times. What life path I am? My life path. Do you want a number? Or, I mean, for me, my life path, I don't exactly know how to answer that, because basically my life purpose is the same every time I come here. My date of birth, it's 1 January. I'm a Capricorn, 978. So yeah, you can figure it out if you want. I've done it before, but it's like, huh? I really kind of embody all life paths, to be honest, which that's why I don't really like focus on that. But yeah, as far as source energy, your Cappy moon. Okay, so with me, I'm Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Venus. Very dominant. So Sun, Moon, Venus, that's me, Cappy. My ascendant is Sagittarius. So I have Earth, and then I have the fire. But yeah, that's I guess I'm very, very much Capricorn. Except for my ascendant or my rising. So that is how I appear to people, is your ascendant or rising sign. So I'm a Sagittarius. That's how most people might, see me out in public. We love you. Don't tell Marcus. Marcus is somewhere. I'm not sure, but he is somewhere in the house. I don't hear him though, but I am on the opposite side, so I don't know. But yeah, Marcus is he's funny. So Marcus and me, many people, if you like see us interact, like you would think we're opposites as well, which what we do is complement each other. Life path 8. Yeah, that's what I got before, is 8. So, which isn't surprising, because 8, this is a year of 8, and it's like a little infinity symbol, but I I guess I resonate with the number 7, period. Like, and that's difficult to explain, but maybe one day, but I'm sure eventually that'll come out too. Hearing by hearing. While I'm equal parts fire and water dominant, but Earth, Moon, and Venus. I look like a fish to most. I honestly, like, I have a chart. I should probably go get it. I just don't want to go to the other side, but I don't have, I want to say I almost don't have any water at all. But I love water. I really do. So I love the ocean. I love the sea. I love swimming. I swim actually most mornings. I go to my fitness center and I swim. It keeps me in shape, but I just love the feeling of water, and it just reminds me of, I don't know. It's just very comforting. But yeah. So what I was going to say a while ago is this source energy of feeling part of everything and vice versa, that this concept of God, like I said, as this energy or deity that's very jealous and judgmental, and you have to worship them, and all this is not source energy. That's not source consciousness whatsoever. And that's one of the things I wish I could scream to the world. Like, you really need to stop with this worshiping things, because honestly, if you're going to worship your church, your mosque, your whatever, should literally be the earth, this planet. That is the church. That is your institution for you to worship, because this source is all around you. And once you are closer to that, you will feel that energy from the trees, from the flowers, from the grass. When you look into an animal's eyes, whether it's your dog, your cat, even your fish. Yes, fish interact with humans, they play. If you've ever been, let's say, in the water, in the ocean, as long as your energy isn't intimidating to them, they literally will swim up to you and start to play with you and interact with you and everything. So it's it's one of those things where if you can separate this mind conditioning that has been done to many cultures in various lands and countries. So I'm not just talking about Christianity, okay, where they say you have to go to a place of worship to gain favor from this deity that you're going to be judged by. No, from the moment you were created, you already had favor with the Most High, with Source. And it's one of those things where you're always loved. You were created in love. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Even going out on hot days and it's raining like this, just go outside and feel the rain on your skin. Feel the grass on your feet. Feel the wind going across your skin. All of it. It's part of worship. Worship isn't what they've been telling you it is. So, yeah. So, this means you've had 7 past lives. Have you been in the doorways of the Akash? So for me, the doorways, I have various, okay, I'll just say it. So I'm not an interdimensional light being. I'm a multidimensional light being. So I can go to various dimensions at any time, even now if I need to. So it's not a certain one place, because there are various beings in different dimensions that I have to sometimes communicate with, because it's part of the purpose and kind of assessing things and letting me know what the next step is, etc., etc. Mother Earth, yes, that is Mother Earth, that feminine, that source energy, that creative energy, that is in everything. So yeah, where am I? Sorry. I'm trying to read the comments but not miss anything. What I missed? Okay. Do the zodiac signs have anything to do with the universe? Well, not the whole universe, but this particular dimension, so, or galaxy. But the zodiac signs are basically, there's different astrological bodies, and it depends when the sun is going through that astrological body, which determines, yeah, let me see, which of these that you actually are. So yeah. Aquarius. Okay. Pain in the arse. No. Do you pray to or in. I don't pray to anything like at all. I just simply, how do I say? I speak to certain energies, um just like I would a normal person that's in 3D with me. So, and I don't mean like I'm doing right now, but this whole speech thing is a newer thing in the ages. It wasn't like this before. So yeah. Yeah, trees are alive. They definitely have an energy. 127, God made male and female at the same time. So yeah, but if you notice sixes further in Genesis, when you get to Yahweh's creations, you'll notice that the male was the only one created at first with his little, experiment that he was doing. Um, Basically, he had a male there for a while until he finally decided that it wasn't good and he could not create a feminine energy the way he did with Adam. Now that's a whole different story, and I don't even want to get into it. But yeah, Adam was by himself with the animals, which is why Yahweh knew he needed a partner. But anyway, grays are awesome. You like grays? I mean, I have no issue with. And this is the thing why I don't actually talk about specific races. Well, when I say races for me, I'm not talking about people on Earth. I'm talking about literally universal races. So there, especially throughout the eons, has been different universal races that you can't exclusively say these ones are good, these ones are bad, because from each, what ended up happening is there were certain ones from each race that basically figured, you know what, we could benefit from, doing this or that for our own selves. So they would kind of side with rebellious energies because short term, it would benefit them. So, yeah. So I don't talk about, specifically grays, reptilians, Venetians, which Venusians, all of it, I don't really distinguish between them because for me, I feel a part of all of them. And yes, I have a love for all of them, but also I place certain energies where they belong because not everyone basically stayed on the path of whole love and light. You know what I mean? And because of that, as much as I hate to say it, those of us who are love and light, in order for self-preservation and to protect various dimensions and galaxies, have to basically not always dwell in love and light in order to save certain ones. So yeah. If your eye is single, your body will fill with light. Yeah. It's the high energy here. That's probably why there's a lag. Yeah. Lag. Yeah. So, I mean, it's crazy because, like, I don't really, um, well, even Marcus knows that I should have him come in here if I should go try and find him and see what he says because he's seen my family and it freaked him out, but not like physically seen like beings, but he's seen, the fleet. So yeah. um Marcus, hang on. Yeah, I don't know where he is. He's somewhere in the house, but I can't find him. Ah, I know they're not Christ. Exactly. They're not. Like they don't understand that love consciousness and treating others the way you would want to be treated, but at the same time, um at this point, even though, and I realize it with myself, this has been a challenge for me lifetime after lifetime because I'm soft hearted, but I've been counseled that I need to be tough. So that's what I'm working on now. And that's part of what, me taking off in July is about, is basically, you know, understanding that there are certain ones where they have basically sent a certain energy, which bad energy, I'll just put it like that, toward me, others, um, people on this planet. And it's like at this point, you need a taste of your own energy. You need to experience what you've been doing to others. So, this is that treating others the way you would want to be treated. So, if these certain individuals and energies would not want the same treatment that they've been handing out to others, then they shouldn't have done it. So, at this point, if you have been embarrassed or shunned me, and I'm talking about family members, friends, because I stand for truth, I stand for love. If you want to shun me because you want me to still be enslaved to this concept of this deity that is downright hateful, I'll just be honest, who approves of child sacrifice, death, murder, I mean, pedophilia, all types of stuff. This is the energy you still want me to support. I'm not going to do it. If you're embarrassed of me, you're going to shun me and disown me and act like I don't exist. Well, at this point, I've given you 3 years to change your attitude because I've been still giving you positive energy, but you've still been sending the negative back. Then you must be okay with me behaving the same way. Now, I'm not going to initiate, acts that are like these people. Like, no, but I'm not going to basically accept that treatment anymore and act like you can just waltz up at any time and talk to me when you've shown me in the past that you don't care about me at all. And every time I've come and forgiven, you've taken advantage of that forgiveness and done even worse to me than before. So we're at a point now, no, we're not doing that. And this is for self-preservation as well. So those of you out there, of course, use your own judgment. But if you have individuals who had no problem treating you like literal garbage, you have no requirement. Don't treat them bad. Forgive them, but put up boundaries and move about your own way of life. Seriously. You can't allow them to keep hurting you and using you. It's just, that is not self-love. And number one, self-love. Because when you understand that love, that heals yourself and in turn heals what's been broken from you to connect to a higher source that isn't a fraud, okay? Maybe this time. My son is Capricorn and my husband is Sagittarius. Cool. I would love to one day hear your perspective on Genesis 3:15, or perhaps you've already done it. Yeah, no, my playlist is long though. Even I admit my playlist is long. Yeah, like that's why I say hearing by hearing. It's like not that you want to return the same actions or deeds to these people, but at the same time you need to place boundaries and not allow that unconditional love and forgiveness to let them manipulate you or take advantage of you at this point. You're not doing anything wrong by putting up boundaries because many, even Source yes, I'll say even source realizes that boundaries are very important. Because imagine without boundaries, this whole universe would have already been taken over. Yeah. So let me see. Genesis 3:15. Let me see and look at if I could look it up now. 3:15. Genesis. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Yeah, I don't think I ever talked about this in detail. But yeah, I would have to do it in a video. So because I have to use a whole bunch more scriptures. Yeah. But you already know, putting enmity between you and the woman, it goes also into, I want to say, I can't think of the scriptures off the top of my head, but yeah, I'll do a video on it. But the video probably won't come out until August because, like I said, I'm taking July off. I may appear on Marcus's videos now and then when he wants me to. But that'll probably be the me in July if I do. But yeah, I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget. Genesis 3:15. All right. I think, let me see, 52. I was gonna say, even when this goes, I guess when it gets posted, if any of you have certain topics that you want me to touch on, you can put them in the comment section of the video once it actually uploads and posts. Because there's a lot of things that it's like if I open that can of worms, it's like you're gonna go through that can with me and down that. But it will make sense. But I have to actually a lot of what is in the scriptures, I have to find other writings, which I know exist, but I have to just locate them, other writings to actually back up what you're reading in the Common Bible. Because a lot of what's in the Common Bible has come from, writings that from India, Sanskrit, Sumerian tablets, different things like that. That are actually in the Bible, but kind of manipulated, twisted, and the meaning changed, all of that. I mean, even like things like John 6:48 and 58, where people are thinking they need to do the what is it called? Basically, it's memorial, but the other version that Catholics do and whatnot. That whole thing about the bread and the wine, and the wine being Jesus's blood and the bread being his flesh, that whole thing was taken out of proportion as well. So people think they have to do this like ritual, which is sick when you think about it, because Jesus said yes about the bread and the wine, but it was not at all how Christianity takes it. It was basically, the bread is spiritual nourishment that sustains your life energy, not your physical body. It was just an illustration that people could relate to, but it was taken completely out of context because it could be exploited to make people enslaved to, churches, thinking they have to, thank you, Trish, communion, thinking that they have to go and partake of bread and wine. And once again, memorial, even with witnesses, basically rejecting this, doing it all wrong. They are celebrating the death of Yeshua, who was a direct spark of source. Now, I can describe even that because I say everyone is a spark of source, but The best way for me to describe it would be with like the number 9. Yeah. So the number 9, you have the original number 9, which looks like a 9. Okay. It's like the image of the number 9. Now 9 times 9 is 81. It doesn't look like a 9, but 8 plus 1 equals 9. Now, no matter how far you multiply, and this is like creation, okay? No matter how far you multiply a 9 by itself, if you add all the digits up, you're still going to get back to the original source of 9, okay? So if you multiply 9 times 11, 9 times 12, 13, 1200, whatever, you're still, when you deduce those numbers, the sum will always be 9. It'll be at the original. Now, some are further away from that, and it'll take longer for you to distinguish the 9 in that sum, but it's there. Hopefully that makes sense. That's the best way I can describe beings from source. And that's why it is more difficult for certain ones to really connect to that source energy, because of the basically the lineage of when you became an actual conscious energy. So obviously, source, the ultimate conscious energy, the firstborn, or as I call it, the firstborn masculine of source, would have all of this knowledge being second in conscious life energy to source. So have the knowledge from the very beginning of creation, because that was the first creation. So all of the knowledge in that Akashic consciousness would start at that point. Does this make sense? So the younger energetically you are, the less conscientious knowledge you would have of anything before that point. And this is why you have so many ones who are here now to help with different perspectives, because it depends on when they were energetically created as a separate consciousness from whatever creator created them. And their idea of God many times will not directly be source, because of which God, which is not source, created them. Okay? Hopefully that explains to some of you who wonder that as well. Your energetic or conscious age will also determine how far back your Akashic record or consciousness goes. Okay? So a lot of these ones people feel are source energy, are gods, are their creator, but they're not that source energy, which goes back to the very beginning. Now, I can go back. Before there was physical beings, we were energetic beings. And after that, we were elemental beings. And after that, we were crystallic beings. So the thing with a physical crystal body is it is not carbon based. It cannot be dated. It is timeless, essentially. It withstands different pressures, temperatures, everything. So yeah. All right. Moving on, because that's something else. Hearing by hearing, cognitive dissonance. Yeah. The spark at consumption. Yeah. So technically, well, the thing is now that because of this situation, many who come here, basically you forget everything into a certain point. And I can honestly say, like, yeah. Why can't we recall our past lives? Oh, good. I'm literally just about to say this. So there is a genetic, I want to say, cap that was placed upon many humans because the ones that took over basically did not want ones remembering. Because if you remember past lives, you're able to do better each generation, each generation, each generation. Now, once the rebellion happened, Yahweh took over with the ones who supported him and whatnot. The point of hybridizing things was to create a slave race. Now, this is what you read about in many of these ancient writings, like, I want to say, I mean, you know what there's many, but basically there is always some component of humanity being created to be workers or slaves and tampered with. Now, if you want to keep slaves, you have to make sure that they don't remember the past. So that is the main reason why so many cannot recall their past lives. Now, you have energies that are helping ones kind of not recall, but basically operate like ancestors. Yes, that's a thing. Those are energies that, don't die. And just like you can genetically hybridize or manipulate energies to not remember past lives, you can also, as I talked about in a video, if you are one of pure energy, you can also genetically modify one's back to being immortal and having this consciousness or genes where you have the equipment to recall past lives. So that consciousness will be just like a stream. There will be no severance of that consciousness. And that is one of the reasons why many may wonder, why has it taken so long for, something to be done, ones to elevate the consciousness, because there needed to be this genealogy essentially that took place over many generations and ages, so that most of humanity can get to the state where they have that equipment to connect in a way that their ancestors, the original humans, were able to. Okay? So yeah, that's the best way to explain it. Now for me, I wake up and I can choose what. There are ones who are in control of what I do. So not all of us are here with free will. We have a specific assignment that has to happen, has to get done, because some of it is a reenactment of what has happened in the past timelines that you have to revisit to get it right. So the best way for me to describe this, again, another Bible verse where Yeshua basically tells, individuals that I'm not here to do the will of my own will. I'm here to do the will of, source. So that's my situation. I've even said, like, if I try and veer, there are obstacles put in the way to kind of guide me back where I'm supposed to be. Now, I can access pretty much any information I want, but I do have, I would say, like, stops that I put up on myself, because when you come into this dimension, this reality, it is not guaranteed that you will remain in light. And a lot of us, okay, I'm not, I get emotional about this, but a lot of you have come through some of the crappiest situations that were supposed to basically sever that love energy that you have within yourself. Now, I say this because imagine, for instance, if you had access to all this information, there was no barriers or stops to certain levels of consciousness or knowledge. And let's say you allowed everything that's happened to you to make you low vibrational and basically say, what's the point? I'm just going to look out for myself. I don't care about anything, not this world, not this planet. I'm just going to look out for me while I'm here, because everything that you've went through was supposed to make you bitter toward source, and even the idea of a loving energy that created everything. So if you're able to access the very principles of creation itself, how to create, but also how to destroy, and you don't stay on the side of the light, that could be detrimental to the entire planet. And that has happened in the past. So, of course, there's certain things that you keep from your own self that in any other dimension, it's not a problem. But information in the wrong hands is detrimental. And that's happened in the past, as I've said before. If you have knowledge to create, destroy, manipulate things, and I'm not just talking on a basic level, it's very, very dangerous. So, yeah, I have enough knowledge to be able to do what I need to do, essentially. Where am I? Let me see. Akashic Records. Yeah, basically it's your endless consciousness, which is everyone's energy, certain ones, because everyone is part of source, but not everyone has the same rank. And when I say rank, it isn't for one to feel more important than another. It's not that. It's just one of the things that in the basically in the word is escaping me, but the series of times, I don't even want to say time, but when you were created energetically or whatever, depends on your ranking. Because obviously, if you are one of the ones who were one of the first creations, you're going to have more knowledge in order to help the collective, the universe, different ones. So imagine one of these ones who helped create different worlds throughout the universe going rogue. That's what the situation we were facing is when that happens. It's bad. So yeah. So gatekeepers are blocking people from assessing what, let me see, what will benefit themselves and others. Yes. So that is one of the things that in the writings I was talking about. Basically, it's these gatekeepers, but that whole term, because yeah, things are so much vaster than just what we talk about on this level. But there are different portals that allow you to go from certain dimensions to others, levels of consciousness, all of that. And many may wonder, like, well, of all the places in the universe, why Earth was the place? Because that was the area where a certain event was happening at the time. And this rebellious energy just happened to be here. So when this fight happened, this was the closest place to isolate these energies to, and then close the portal so they could not go back and forth between different worlds and dimensions to affect anything or anyone else. Bad for this planet, yes, but for the rest, it's a good thing. So even accessing these portals and whatnot, you have to have certain, as ones refer to them as keys, to do this. And as I mentioned earlier, the concern of, I will say, the divine family is who to trust at this point, because many that we've trusted in the past have pretended or changed their mind and switched sides to benefit themselves. This is just reality. um, and as I mentioned in some of my most recent videos, you want all life to have free will. And this gift of free will, it's like, how do you bestow that gift on everyone and you don't know how it's going to turn out? What are they going to do with it? So do you revoke free will? Do you say what they can or cannot do? Because at that point, then it's not free will, is it? So that's what has to be decided. It's already been decided, but I just feel like I have to say, what issues are. So, yeah. Full disclosure is, as far as, I don't understand exactly what full disclosure, but I'm kind of telling you some of the problems that we faced throughout various eons, as far as different galactic races, even, being allies and turning from allies to enemies, essentially. And who do you trust? Who do you trust? Because even now, many of you know there are people that will pretend, and they're very brilliant at it, just to get what they want from a certain person or a group or anything. So you have to be careful. And that's why I even say now, I believe in forgiveness and unconditional love, but I'm not naive. Because of experience, I have knowledge. And that knowledge is what makes me behave in certain ways that maybe I have not behaved in the past, or even in past lives. So even this idea of source not changing, the love is consistent. But look around you, everything is about change. How do you expect progress if you're not willing to change based on experience? And then through that experience, gaining knowledge, and then through that knowledge, actually adjusting to make wise choices and decisions that will benefit instead of hurt. So, yeah. I mean, to put it in perspective, and I'll use myself as an example with my host. My earthly mother, I say host mother because, as I said, my mother, the one who created me, is who I refer to as mother. So we'll say host mother, fully indoctrinated in, the cult or Jehovah's Witnesses, fully indoctrinated. Now, it's strange, but it was one of those things where she didn't think twice about discarding me. Once I was like, I cannot worship or even pretend to be a part of this organization, this cult. I love you. I'm always going to be here for you. And I've proven that through the years, which she's acknowledged. But maybe you guys can relate with your relatives who are still very indoctrinated and in Jehovah's Witnesses or any other religion where it is basically you against me type of mentality. What is taught to these ones from the governing body and various, leaders in this cult is that if you do not obey them and what they believe in, you are essentially an enemy of them as well as Jehovah, who they want to elevate as God or source. Okay. So this mentality that my own host mother has now is I am an enemy. So if it comes down to it, do not for 1 minute, I don't for 1 minute think that if my life was in jeopardy, that my mother would not even lift a finger to save me. Because in her eyes now, the governing body has convinced her that I am refuse. I am garbage. I deserve to die. I'm one of Jehovah's enemies. So let that sink in. My own mother would watch me die or be killed in the name of this cult, this religion. Now, that's just a little example because there's a whole lot other stuff going on there, but why would I be willing to give up my life for someone who values my life so with not value at all? Like I'm worth nothing. Why would I interject? Because that's what my heart would do. But common sense, and this is why I'm bringing it out. Why would you give yourself to someone else who has proven, mind you, it's been over 3 years, that they would not lift a finger to come to your aid? I say this because even in the past, there's been times where there have been energies that stepped in to save even these worshipers of Yahweh or Jehovah. Many people, you can think of even like Nazis, Hitler, how witnesses say Jehovah saved them. So even in the case now, let's say the governing body is leading, as I mentioned in another video, this large sacrifice or energy grab of Jehovah's Witnesses who are dedicated and who have willingly, not just vocally on earth, but before the heavens, made a vow to give their lives to Jehovah. Why would you step in again to save this collective when they're just going to give all the glory and honor to a deity who has hated and went against everything that Source wanted? I'm just putting this out there. This is thinking, and you're allowed to think, okay? Just so you know what's going on in the universe. This isn't just simple as, oh, you're sinners, you need to have a sacrifice. It's all BS. It's not that. That's why we're in this situation, why things have gone on for so long, why you can't remember certain things, why not everyone can be trusted. Yeah. Let me read some more. This is long, so I'll probably be getting off in like 5 or 10 minutes. All right. I heard a woman call mothers jump wombs. That's gross to me. Yeah, that's weird. For me, I say host mother because I have a different perspective on things. So I understand that I have to come here, and I have to come here through the physical, and I can only do that at this point through another human host, even though sometimes it's you can't just that's another story. I was gonna say you can't like artificially inseminate humans and all that, but even as it was, like the RH factors with me and my host mother did not match, which, you know, she had to get those shots, the therapy, so her body wouldn't reject me. So yeah. No natural affection. Exactly, sixes. That's basically it. And it's like I still have affection. I mean, for goodness sake, I literally will cry my eyes out when I have to take care of a fly. Like, that's me, but I still take care of the fly. The problem is when you have these beings that will kill something with no remorse whatsoever. They have no feeling, no empathy, no compassion, no sympathy when they take another life, whether it's human, animal, whatever. That is an issue because you no longer have that humanity, that source energy where, yes, even though you have to do something you don't want to do, you feel it because it's almost like you're doing it to yourself. It's these ones who have no regrets, no anything. And they're willingly hurting people and misleading them and exploiting them with no remorse. How can you just let that go on? How can you just, as someone who has empathy, watch other energies continue to hurt others? Will you allow that love of just any life to overshadow and override that sense of justice? And that's, you know, that's one of those things where it's like, when is enough enough? When have you given people enough chances? And I've mentioned this also before. Sorry. You can forgive people 7 times. Okay, great. But 77 times, at that point, you know it's no longer a mistake. It's intentional. So when someone does something repeatedly over and over again after you've forgiven them multiple times, many times, over many lifetimes, you realize that it's not a mistake. That's not a mistake. So yeah. See? Yes. Yeah, universal laws being broken. That's the thing. And there has to be consequences. I don't want to get into the future because it's like many feel like maybe it's better for people to be essentially slaves and microchipped, and you know, their free will is gone because they've already given permission through their actions, whether it's religion or governments or whatever, manipulating them and taking away their free will and then being okay with it. So it's like, what do you do in that instance? You've already shown you don't want free will. You don't want to think on your own. You want to be led and guided, even at a point where you no longer need to be. And in my mind and heart right now, my thing is it's almost better for certain energies not to conscientiously exist, because energy, it really can't be destroyed. And this is what people don't get either. It's not destroyed. It's transferred, transmuted, you name it. But it's almost better for that consciousness to no longer exist. than to be submitted or subjected to just pain, torturing, suffering, being slaves. It's just, I can't imagine a world like that. Someone's serenity. Wow. Okay. That's my name. It's inhumane. Yes, it is humane. Heartless. Yes, exactly. And yeah, not true repentance. That's my point. So these people all over the planet who have literally enslaved the rest of humanity for their own benefit, and this even includes, yes, the governing body. They know what they're doing and they continue to do it. Oh, I know it's your screen name. It's cute. I like it. It confused me for a minute because I'm like, wait a minute. It's like, I can understand even certain ones who got hopeless watching all the injustice and justice not being executed in the name of unconditional love and forgiveness. And that's why I brought out the example of the prodigal son and the other son who was working hard in the fields, like, and supporting his father through thick and thin. And even when the other son took off to live his own life and made multiple bad decisions, and then all of a sudden comes back, and the son who was faithful the entire time is not supposed to feel a certain way. I understand now why there were many who kind of gave up hope, because they repeatedly have come to help, and it's like nothing's being done. They lose hope. Like, why should we keep doing this when there is no justice? That's also brought out in Psalms, like the ones who see, from their perspective, these ones who do all this badness just continue to prosper, while the ones who are faithful and loving and consistent seem to suffer time and time again. Well, that can't be sustained. So that's why I'm here. That's why there's so many here right now that are here to help. But just as there are as many here to help, there are many who are also here in these avatars to mislead people to their own destruction. Now, this isn't to make people scared or apocalypse or anything, but this is just reality. Basically, it's that crab in a bucket. They don't want, because they know they're at the bottom already, they want to grab anyone else who's trying to get out and keep them where they already are and are going to stay. So that's why I continually say, do better. Just keep pushing to be better than you were yesterday. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. And just know that you're loved. You need to understand that you are loved. You are not what all these other beings and energies want to put upon you. That fear, that shame, that guilt, all of that needs to go. It is not productive emotions to help you be the best version of you and reach your higher self. Okay? Because remember, most beings here are avatars. You have a higher self that wants to guide you. But when you sever that higher vibration energy, because you're living in fear, shame, guilt, all these emotions that are low and vibrational, you won't be able to connect to your higher self. There's many who are called, to a higher consciousness, and they outright reject it because they're so comfortable living in this fake reality. They're like, well, this is real. These fancy cars, this house, these designer clothes, this life that I think I'm living right now, this is real to me. So I'm not going to strive for anything more because I'm comfortable the way I am. And that is one of the saddest things to witness, is when you see individuals who are nudged to ascend and they choose not to. it's like they decided to stay blind and keep the blinders on because that's what they know and that's what they're comfortable in. So, yeah. That's the difference. Those who know and those who don't. Yeah. Ego tells you you are wonderful. Yeah, I mean, the ego is good to a sense, but you don't want this ego to tell you that you are you don't need to work on yourself if you know you do, because it's not an easy thing. um Lifetime after lifetime, even with myself, it's like once I connect to my higher self, there's things that I can recall and say, I don't like the way I did that. I need to do better. And I need to apologize for what I feel I didn't do right. Now that I know that love frequency, what I didn't do right. So not only did I leave a cult, but even some of the things that I did to my own children, I had to sit down, talk to them, and apologize for some of my actions once I knew better. And that thing is where your ego is so big, it won't allow you, and the pride essentially, it won't allow you to say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Let me try and do better now that I know. Let's move forward. People who are proud and in their ego will not admit that there is something they need to work on, will not apologize because they feel like they don't need to. Everything is great. So, yeah. Even now, even if I know that I did not intend to make someone feel a certain way, because that is never my intent, especially now that I'm fully aware. But if they take it the wrong way, I'll apologize, not because I'm wrong, but because I empathize with that person. If they feel, and I mean really feel, that I did them wrong, I'm going to do everything I can to just reassure them that that is not where I'm coming from. Okay? Because a lot of times people actually see you, they project onto you what they see in themselves. And that is part of healing. And as I mentioned, these type of individuals I don't immediately get upset with because I understand them. I try and work with them. But if you don't want to heal and you constantly want to attack me because of your own insecurities and what you're projecting, I can't continually engage in that because it's exhausting, to be honest. So that's one of those situations where I'll try and help as much as I can. But if you're constantly drawing from me and attacking me, I'm going to put up the boundaries and, you know, I wish you healing, but I will not engage or allow you into my energy anymore. So that's important. Even as light workers and healers, some of you are, you have to really value your own energy as well, and your worth, and what is worth pouring into and what isn't. That is that putting pearls before swine. You have to know the value of your own energy and be really show discernment as far as who you're putting that energy before. Okay, because not everyone will see its value and appreciate it. Okay. Okay. It also tells you you're crap. Yeah. Well, that also, that telling you you're crap is a lot of what this world has conditioned. I mean, almost since you've put yourself into this world. So um even as a baby, a toddler, this whole thing about you're not good enough, you need to do better. And don't get me started with the school system. That whole system of grades and everything else is basically to tell you, what your worth is. And then it just continues as you grow up into adulthood, all of this. And don't start with the whole religious doctrines where you're this, you're not important, you're, not worthy, you're sinners, you're this, you're that. It's just constantly bombarded onto people from the moment they're born. So it's one of those very, very difficult things for people to break free of, because it's been hammered into their very being that they're never good enough. And that's where you have to start seeing yourself through a higher energy, through source energy, not seeing yourself through the perspective of, let's say, Yahweh or these deities who literally think that humans are beneath them. They have separated themselves from other life forms and creations, all of that. So you have to kind of become, as a babe, where you have to erase everything you've been taught and start from scratch, a whole new perspective, a whole new consciousness. Okay. So that is that born again energy. You have to start over in this process that is called life. Once you know, be in that love energy, not in this, you're not good enough. You never will be good enough. You have to hope that you can redeem yourself in the eyes of God. No, because with source, you are loved from the start. This isn't a love which most of humanity understands, where you're not loved from the start. You have to prove your love to ones, and then you will be loved. It's the opposite with source. You're loved from the beginning. And that's how I am, which a lot of people don't understand when I say I love you. I truly do. I love you from the start. It is only if you show me time and time again that I'm not going to say you're not worthy of that love, but that I have to place you where you belong. In that case, that's what's going to happen. So you are going to be loved from the start with me, just like Source loves you from the very beginning. Until you prove through your actions and multiple experiences that I have with you that I need to put up boundaries or guard my heart, so to speak, so that you stop hurting me. Okay. Eckhart Tolle and Alan Watts explain ego quite well also. Yes, they do. Grateful for my adult children, and I have addressed it, and all of us are 100% happy. Yeah, yeah. Because sometimes, I don't want to make this live stream too long, but some of us are placed in certain bloodlines or families in order to break generational habits. Some say curses, but that is the case with me as well. But once you break that, you have to, for your children's sake and generations after that, really apologize for past actions. Speak your truth so that your children can go on to live their lives without the burden of all of the past generations. So myself, it was a big life change. I had to make many changes, but I remember speaking to my mother, my host mother, as I say, about how she allowed certain things to happen, especially in regards to me being a mother. Because I said, as a mother myself, I can't see how you can allow your child and your children to be harmed by another person and not do anything. And her answer, I'm not going to, blast her, but her answer was it wasn't comforting. It actually made things worse, because what I realized is that she was more concerned about herself and how she appeared to other people than the welfare of her children. So, yeah. that's one of those things where me as a parent, I had to learn from that also, and not be what my mother and even her mother and what even my grandmother's mother was before me. And it's not always easy, but it's worth it. Yeah. Born a sinner. Yeah, no, that's not it. You're not born a sinner. Actually, many people, especially indigenous people, ones who were, had that direct connection to a higher source, they understood that they were not sinners, that every experience that they had throughout life was a learning experience, something to build your character, your whole experience with life. So each mistake was something to learn from. It wasn't, looked as you're born a sinner and this and that. No. And many of them even said, like, we never knew we were sinners until, men came on their ships with this book that told us we were. So, yeah. So, yeah, no one is born a sinner. That whole stupid thing where babies are enemies of God. And when you look at them, you're just like, look at this little sinner. Not true. But you have to buy into that for these ones to continue to exploit you and, basically support their lavish lifestyles on the backs of the members. And you can't be educated in any other way except through them. So you continue to be slaves. So that's why they are fighting so hard against people educating themselves and looking to other sources. Because once you do that, the scales will be removed from their eyes and they will see religion and all of these teachings for exactly what they are. Basically, sources to keep you enslaved and in a lower consciousness. So, yeah, I'm going to go, but I want to thank everyone who had, was here in the chat and everything. Thank you so much. And as I said, I will work on the one topic that someone had brought up, but I'm taking a break in July. Some crazy things might happen in July. But yeah, it's fine. Stay cool, everyone, because I know it is very warm all around the globe. But yeah, that's about it. I love you all. As always, I'm sending my peace to you. And again, I just say keep loving yourself, keep working on not condemning yourself like other people have, especially religions. You are so worth more than what you've been led to believe. Okay? All right. Have a good day, everyone. Have a good night to those who are in other areas of the world. Just stop because you're no longer blinded. So don't let the blind lead the blind. That's the best thing I can say, but stand up for yourself. No longer is this a time where we allow love and forgiveness to allow other energies to take advantage of us. Okay. So even in the inquisitions, these ones, many of you already know. A lot of times the only reason we're able to be taken advantage of is because of that love and light that we emanate. We don't want to harm a thing, but it also makes us targets and makes us susceptible to being eradicated. So we can't do that this time. We have to stand up for love. We have to let true love, justice, wisdom rule this planet as it once did. Okay. All right. Yes, sixes. You're in England, so it's already nighttime there. Trish, yeah, have a good day. Even though you're in tomorrow. Isn't that wild to think about? Like on the other side of the world, it's tomorrow. So, yeah. All right, Cassandra, take care. I love you too. You're my sister. You know you are. I have to get to see you again soon. I'm going to have to make arrangements for that. All right. I actually want to see all of you, whoever's in New Zealand, England, everywhere, Pennsylvania, all of those places. I'm just going to have to make time. Yeah. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.